Entertainment's Cheap. My name is AJ. This is my dude Blake, and this is our dear friend Zach.
Not a dude.
Oh.
just a dear friend.
Anyways,
It's cool, just hurtful.
listen, guys. If you guys have ever met Zach before, this is gonna be a really interesting show. So, welcome to Real Talk Live, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and just get right to business here. There's a link in the description of the stream. It's www.theremnant.live/real-talk. If you guys have any questions you want to ask us about God, life, the Bible, or anything in between, go ahead and click on that link and slide it in. We'll be checking it live throughout the entire show. So let's go ahead and see who's on here. What's up, Lindsay? Willie? Grandma, what's up? Austin? You weren't expecting Grandma, were you?
No. Grandma. Grandma,
Hi, Grandma.
hope you're making some cookies.
So, going to introduce the crew real quick while we're doing this. Obviously, I'm AJ. This is production guy Blake. Usually, production guy is behind the camera doing stuff, but he's just been so cool last couple of weeks, being willing to be in the front of the camera for you guys. We got fun guy Austin right behind the television that we look at. He's dancing around. He's showing me something that looks scary. And in the back, we got the lovely Fun Turn Clint running production night. What's up, Fun Turn?
Not much, not much.
There he is. So, we're going to give people a little bit of time to get on here. You know what's weird, man? I literally cannot see how many people are on the stream from my phone anymore. I think they changed something.
Mine seems to be working okay.
It says 12. 12. I lied. Yours is.
Look at that.
It's just you,
Mine
AJ.
doesn't show it. So I guess I'm going to have to do it's just like how you are back there. I'm going to have to ask how many people are on here and there.
Great.
Willie says, hey, what's up, Willie? Norman says, what's up? What up?
Hello.
Wow. Can you click into this real quick? So
Oh,
we can
yeah, I
stream?
forgot. I'm not used to having to do this.
I know, right?
He has
It's interesting.
power.
You'll probably have to refresh the page.
So much
We're
stuff.
prepared.
Well, that's the crazy part. Back there, I run like 5 different computer screens
it's
and
a
tabs
it's-
at once. And up here, I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, it's a
One
Are you
screen.
claiming specifically that you know what you're doing back there? Because you didn't actually state that. You just said you do it.
I do. I sure do.
I sure
I
do it.
back there. And I do it well sometimes.
Sometimes. Just
Let's
checking.
see. What's up, Wade? What's
So
up,
it's
Luke?
logged.
Thanks for
There we
joining, guys. There we go. Now I got to count. Now I can see. That's so weird. My phone's doing that. Oh, also, I should actually probably hop off and go to YouTube so I can see YouTube comments. That's what I should do.
Tube crew.
The Tube Crew. Dude, that's a new one. I like that. The Tube Crew.
I do what I can, man. I provide what little I can.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest, man. The production guy position is the true MVP of the show. I'm not just saying that. You literally are the reason why we were able to look at questions, why people can see them. You provide some input. You do a lot of stuff, man. So appreciate you what you do, man. Because it's not an easy job.
None of them look good. but many hats.
Seriously though, many hats. You
Maybe
ain't
that's
kidding,
the
bro.
problem. You took your hat off.
I took it off. That's what. So, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can get on here. What's up, Gregory from YouTube? What's up,
I
buddy?
don't even know where it's
Hey,
at.
what's up, John?
Nice.
Beat you to it.
Get in on it. I love it.
Nice.
Gonna let some people see it. Now, real quick, before we move any farther, I'm just gonna ask you guys one thing. Will you please share the stream? Share the stream with somebody, even if they've viewed it 1,000 times. Share it again, because you never know who this is gonna reach. We're trying to show people Jesus while also giving them some entertainment at the same time. So go ahead and share the stream. We got 12 people on, so hopefully we'll have 12 shares. We also have a couple people on YouTube.
I just shared it. You're welcome.
Hey, look at that. See that? We got Zach.
Hey,
Zach followed rules. He did something.
Can I unshare?
hey, what's up, Brandon? Love
You
you,
got
too, bud.
one.
Yo. All right. So, well, I'm trying to decide if I want to keep going or not. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. We'll do it. We're going to go ahead and move on to what we call real random. What is real random, you ask? It's where we do something completely random. It's usually something hot for your guys, strictly your entertainment. Like I said, entertainment's cheap, but the pain is real. So, fun guy Austin, we're going to give it to you, man. What are we doing today?
Alrighty, gentlemen, we have another hot one today.
Gosh.
We have Jurassic Jerky. The flavor is insanity.
Oh, man, dude.
I will say this.
guys.
I actually have a piece in my hand.
I'm going to cheat.
I have a piece in my hand. I've been chewing on it and eating it. Whew.
It's hot? Oh, man.
Hey,
Luke says notorious MCG.
So, Blake,
Gosh, this looks awful, by the way.
since you're kind of new to that seat and I'm kind of new to this seat, what do we do when he dies? Because he's gonna bail on us. And at best, he's going to lay on the ground and be like, hey, guys, say something in my mic for me.
For the record, I have a 27-step process on what happens if AJ dies.
Specifically 27.
Boy,
How many of them involve giggling, poking, and laughing?
About 17.
I don't know if that's enough.
What do we got here?
We got Jurassic Jerky. Insanity. Caution, extremely hot. And as you see, the heat gauge is all the way past hot.
Oh boy.
Made
It's
with
hot.
made with the hottest peppers on earth.
Now, for a guy who likes spice and likes heat, I like make sure you give it a flavor and a taste. It's pretty up there.
Oh, boy.
No.
Now, Zach, before we actually do this thing, how are you with hot stuff?
I'm fine.
Yeah, you actually like hot stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do.
cool, man.
I actively eat hot things all the time.
Okay, so this is
Got ghost peppers,
No
Okay.
promise I won't cry. but-
habanero peppers, and reapers.
Wait, okay, wait.
Ghost,
Yep.
habanero, and Carolina Reapers.
Oh, jeez, dude. The Reapers is where it gets you, man. Oh gosh, it makes me nervous. I'm gonna
Grooming you a
smell
little
it.
bit there.
I don't
appreciate you.
I don't know if you should.
That's a good one. You immediately were just like, regret.
Yeah, regret. Did you actually watch the live that I did the Pocky one
It
chip?
smells so good.
Because it was bad.
No, I think.
Dude.
Oh wait, is that the one where you bailed and they weren't sure if you were coming back?
Yes. Dude,
Yeah,
that,
and
that
then
one
you came
was
back
terrible.
and then you left again.
Dude, it was real rough. Oh, what's up, Denise?
That's what you
Sorry
guys.
you can't hear anything. Has anyone else got issues? Or
Grab the Tums. That's what Lindsay said.
Willie says, "Ouch, that sounds very hot."
Oh, nice. Gregory on YouTube says right now he's
What's
eating
up,
a honey
Krista?
pepper turkey stick. Heck yeah, man. That sounds really good. Nice. We got 15 on. All right, boys. Oh, I guess we can try to stall for a little longer. Hey, y'all, get someone on so you can watch us eat hot stuff. I don't
We're not
want
going to eat it till we hit 20 viewers.
Hey,
Oh,
fun turn, not fun turn. My goodness, production guy. He made the promise, so we have to stick to it.
20 people.
20 people. We got 15 on right now. We got 4 on YouTube. We need to get 20 people on Facebook. So
We just lost one, guys. You're scared. I'm okay.
I'm not upset.
he's like, I don't
I
want to
am.
do it.
I don't think you guys are going to make me eat it.
Now there's 13. They're literally going away. They're like, we're not going to watch it. Unless they're getting off to share. That could be.
That's fair.
that a thing? Is that how that
hopping
works?
back on.
I hope not.
I think it depends on what you're watching from.
Oh no.
Dude,
I'm really excited. I'll eat it
Honestly,
right
man,
now
like,
without you guys.
Oh, you excited?
Oh, I love hot things, bro. So the only other time I've been on, what was it? Was it Facebook Live? Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a video, a friend of mine, Jeremiah Simmons
gotcha.
and Sion Solomon, and we ate the world's hottest chocolate bar. It is, it's the Coco Loco Challenge.
Yeah, it's like a little thing, right?
Yeah, it's only about yay big,
Yep.
and it has, I believe, I could be speaking wrong here, but I believe it's Carolina Reapers like infused into the chocolate, and then the entire back is coated with seeds.
Oh my goodness, dude.
And oh my gosh, dude. So I'm a brave guy sometimes, right? Stupid, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, Jordan?
So we unwrap this thing, and I see all the seeds in the bag, and they tell you to wear gloves when you eat it because like you
It's
should
that
wear
way.
gloves when you eat it
Jeez, dude.
because you don't want it just like to accidentally rub into your eyes.
Yeah.
Naturally.
And I was like a half a second after the other two, and I just see the instantaneous regret on both their faces as I'm going. I'm like, oh no.
Oh,
And
no.
I kid you not, like. As AJ noted earlier, if you haven't met me, I like to talk.
Yeah.
I did not like to talk.
You
for the
couldn't
next
speak, could
I
you?
mean, I could, but I didn't want to. And oh my gosh, dude! I mean, my face started just like sweating,
Oh,
pouring.
dude.
I was crying in the sense that like my tear ducts were just pouring. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the pain was at that level because I genuinely felt like just white faced and numb. I was just like,
So do you think that's the hottest thing you've ever had?
yeah. On top of the fact that like there's a 5-minute burn period where you weren't allowed to drink anything.
Yep.
Nothing. And
Reminds me of the Death Nut Challenge.
then at 5 minutes they put the milk down, but then the three of us men looked at each other and were like, I'm not drinking it first.
I'm not drinking it.
So we made
I'm
it
not
to
gonna be that
8.5 minutes before
Hey,
anybody
Scott.
was just like, right?
What about you, Blake? What's the hottest thing you've ever eaten?
Dude, honestly, I think it was the world's hottest chocolate bar that we had on Real Talk.
Because I think we had the same one you guys did, I think.
It was a tiny little square of chocolate, and it melted on your tongue.
This one's about yay big.
And you ate
about
the whole
that
thing?
thick.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah, we should probably
Yeah,
skip
we
it.
just.
We're gonna lose a viewer here probably. It's me. I lost. I'm the viewer.
It's me on the viewer.
But yeah, do that because I remember that because I was like, oh, it's like it melted almost instantly. So there's no hope. Like you have no hope of like anything. It just instantly melts in your mouth. And I was like, oh,
Oh, dude.
it was so bad.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Because I think I included it on our Real Talk Live highlight video.
Coco Loco.
Yep, nope, that's not what it was.
It's not what we did.
We will
Nope.
buy it.
Oh, boy.
They donate to what is it? It's a charity that they do. So it's a $20 bar, and they donate $5 to, I think, either prostate or colon cancer.
Cool.
It's a good cause. And my only thought was, is it because of what it's going to do to me? So I was very alarmed going into it.
Oh yeah.
It was very alarming, the entire process. It was not fun. No part of it.
Dude, I mean, I still think the hottest thing I've ever had was probably the dried Carolina Reaper. That was really bad, man. I mean, like your mouth was just instantly on fire. I mean, I couldn't, like that feeling you spoke of, like not wanting to speak, because I mean, you would just move like your tongue, and it was like fire. Literally, someone just took a flame and put it in your mouth.
I'm trying to remember what it was at Warner when I worked there.
What's up, Trent?
One of the guys, he grew peppers, right? Like hot
boy.
peppers, right? And he brought, I'm trying to remember if it was a scorpion pepper or if it was a Reaper. I think it was a Carolina Reaper, and he brought it in, and it was only about this big. And guys
all
were
you
taking
need,
like
man.
just a little, like an X-Acto knife, and just cut little pieces off, and like, oh, it's hot, right?
Alex.
And someone challenged me, and then all of my hubris, I was like, that's fine. So I lumped off a section about a fourth of this pepper, and just instant regret. Okay. Now, was I okay? Yeah, sure. Did I go back and eat more later to prove that I could? Yeah.
Absolutely.
But in that like 10 seconds when I popped that pepper in my mouth, and I was just like this, why does my pride flare up so fast that I am willing to do anything to my body that has absolutely no concern for my well-being? None. Just instantaneous. I'm just like, yeah, I got this.
Oh gosh, Zach, dude, part of me appreciates it, and part of me is like, man, you gotta.
Part of me doesn't appreciate it. There's a very small part of me that appreciates it.
Well, y'all, we only got 15 people on, so we got
man,
5 people on YouTube. So what do you guys think? Should we count them as both, or should we not?
I say we eat it
We eat it?
because Blake looks scared.
I am a little bit. Not gonna lie. I don't handle that stuff. But to catch you guys up, Scott, you said you came in late. We're getting ready to do real random. We have this Insanity Jurassic beef jerky, and it has Ghost, habanero, and Carolina Reaper peppers. So we're gonna do our typical heat and flavor test here in a minute. So,
All right, fellas. I suppose since y'all could not get 20 on here, I mean, we technically got 20 between both platforms, so I guess we'll count it. So I guess we'll go ahead and do this thing.
Disclaimer: once you touch the jerky, do not touch your eyes.
All right. Well, that's good to know.
If you notice why I sprinted out of here.
While they begin their suffering, Gregory Keith on YouTube says, "What's your most favorite spicy food, and what's your least favorite spicy food?"
Ooh, my least favorite spicy food is got to be. I would say. Also, I just need a little piece here. I don't need a giant. There we go.
What do you,
Unless you want
you
this.
touched it, man. Like, you got to eat that.
Oh gosh, Zach. All right, I'll try to eat all of it. Now, I'd say my least favorite is easily the Carolina Reaper. Easily, that thing was terrible. Now, as far as my favorite, this is gonna sound lame, but because it's still considered a spicy food, but I love buffalo chicken, man. Love buffalo
with you,
chicken.
buddy.
Hey, let's get it. All right,
You
now
need some more?
I think I'm all right. You fellas
Okay,
ready?
so are we doing it on 3, or are we
Yep,
just going to go like this?
all right.
Okay, I
well,
guess we're going.
Zach's
All right.
already in. Man.
Here we
All
go.
right, here we go.
Hey, don't do it. I'm just kidding.
Wow. Honestly, flavor, I kind of like it.
Actually, a good flavor, right? It's hot.
It's got a dry heat.
Trent, you're probably right.
What do you say?
AJ is 100% going to touch his eyes.
Dude, I hope I don't. That'd be an AJ thing to do. Woo.
That is,
Ooh, first time you swallow is going to suck.
I already did.
it did.
I won't lie, man. It's pretty hot, dude. This is again. Now, this is not like the Pocky One Chip. It's not. It's got me sweaty already, and it's kind of hard to speak. How you doing, Zach?
I'm good. Yeah,
I'm gonna finish this.
that's a big piece. I like a big piece.
Yeah, sorry, Norman. Just dying over here.
What do you say?
Love the lip smacking.
Oh, sorry, Norm. That's probably me, man. All right. Now, I'm with you though. It actually tastes pretty good. The flavor in itself is actually pretty solid. Fun Guy, did you actually like the flavor too?
I like the flavor. The flavor was really good. Like flavor, I'd give it like a. For spice, I'd give it like a 6 or 7.
Oh, for spice or for flavor?
Flavor.
Flavor. What would you get it for heat?
Considering the stuff I've had, I give it like a 3.
Ooh,
You give that a 3 heat? Bro, that's pretty
you're
impressive.
insane. You are a literal psycho.
Block A?
Oh gosh.
What do you got
I
for
know.
what do you got for flavor and heat, my friend?
Every sip just burns. You can tell I don't do this as much. Flavor, I liked it. I'm gonna give it about a 6 flavor.
Yeah, 6 flavors pretty solid.
Heat, for me, again, this is going off of my standard of hot, so this is like an 8.
Yeah, Block A does not do many
Oh,
hot
no,
things.
this is not me.
What you, Zach? Where you at?
I wasn't a big fan of the flavor.
Okay.
Like a 4.
Okay.
Heat's getting there. It's settling in. It's got an afterburn. At first, I was fine.
Whew.
How's
It's
your
getting
tongue?
there.
Yeah, my tongue's feeling it.
Yeah, my tongue is what hurts.
Tongue's feeling it. So what would you give it on a scale of 10 for heat?
That's what you're getting. I'd say it's about a 7.
7?
Man, maybe a 6, because that
Okay.
it's about where that Reaper pepper was.
I'm gonna give it a 5 flavor.
That's pretty brave.
Yeah, it's like I said, and honestly, I'm not much of a beef jerky guy. So like, for me, like to actually enjoy beef jerky is pretty. So I'm gonna give it a 5 flavor, and I'm gonna give it a 7 heat. It's pretty hot, man. Like if I'm giving the Pocky one chip a 9, this could be a 7 for sure.
Now, to answer questions, because I did touch my eyes. It wasn't with the hand that held the jerky.
Good call,
So
man.
I've been using the other hand to help.
Knowing myself, I'm not even gonna do anything because I'd probably mix up which hand that held the jerky in. Wouldn't be good. Will the heat make Zach's beard turn more red?
No, unfortunately.
Stick around, folks. We got a show for you. We just did Real Random where we ate some Jurassic jerky. It was called Insanity.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's
was
pretty
stupid.
hot.
Membrane.
Yep, it's made with the hottest peppers on earth. The roof of my mouth is on fire a little bit. Whew. It's getting slowly a little hot. I feel like my tongue is swelling a little bit.
Is that what I
don't know
think
about
it is?
you.
Fun Guy loves us so much.
What is it?
Well, since considering production guy Blake is literally crying.
I'm a baby.
Nice ice cream.
I don't know if you guys want some of this.
I like chocolate ice cream.
Nice. Gonna enjoy some ice cream now.
It's not helping. Also, don't laugh.
Flavor?
I can't.
Flavor? 8, 8.5.
It about came out my nose.
Heat, I'm going to guess. The heat is the residual heat from the beef jerky. I'm going to give it like a 4 heat.
I still think it's a 7.
That's an impressive heat for ice cream.
Yeah, you're right. It's not helping a whole lot.
Here's my problem. I can deal with, and this is why I know I'm handling this better than the Pocky, because whatever this is not really going to my stomach. At least not yet. When I start to panic is when it hits my stomach. So this is all kind of mouth burn.
Everything's up here. It doesn't even hurt past like
Exactly.
my jaw on it, like as far as how low it's
Stomach burn, I'm okay with. I'm okay if things wreck my gut. Okay?
I don't know how you do it.
My mouth does not like this.
Yeah, the mouth, I'm the opposite, man.
Hey, Reese, I just got your text, man. Thanks for joining on. Glad you, and I quote, watching me suffer for entertainment. Very cool. Yeah, man.
nice. Stick around, Reese.
Stick around, man. We got some cool stuff
I'm
coming.
going to put more parts on the racks just for you tomorrow, buddy.
There you go.
It's manual labor for him.
Okay.
Let's see. Denise says the rosy cheeks are coming. You're absolutely right.
They've already been here.
Let's see. John said something. I missed it. Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Elsie wasn't wanting to sleep. That's okay, Sierra. Thanks so much for hopping on. Let's see what else we got here. Ice cream better not be spicy.
Yeah, that would have been absolutely hilarious.
Dude, I'm
Just double whammied us.
telling you right now. I would have politely exited stage right And then you would have heard Austin screaming.
Lindsay says, "Well, that's gonna mix good." It's actually not bad. Now I'm gonna be honest. I'm with those two. It's not helping the mouth pain at all. It's really not. At this point, we're just enjoying ice cream for no reason.
Dude, it's gonna come out my nose quick.
Let's see. Can you keep
What do we
scrolling,
got?
Blake?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, thank you.
Scott said put peppermint extract in the ice cream.
Oh, goodness gracious, man.
I love watching
Why are
Zach
people
suffer
savages?
series. And then Austin says, thanks for the idea
Oh,
about
boy.
putting the peppermint in.
Where's Fun Guy? Is he off in the shadows somewhere?
Hey, what's up, Tim? Traxler's on.
Oh, cool. What's up, Tim?
Hey, Tim. Why'd you look at me like that, man? It was so suspicious.
Because it just went down the line. Hey, Tim. Hey, Tim. Hey, Tim.
Ask me this. Ask me if I know who Tim is.
Do you?
No.
Yeah, you do. He came to men's group a couple of times.
I have to see him. I'm not a names guy. Unless he...
Get it, man.
Now, there's two issues. One, I'm always, and I mean always, 10, 15 minutes late to men's group, just so we're clear.
That is true.
So, even if he introduced himself, I would have missed it. So, hey, Tim.
Now,
Bro, how'd you get so much more ice cream than me?
I don't know. Is it that I got more, or do you just eat it faster than I am? Go for it. There we go.
Gosh. All right.
Now, let's see. John says, "Am I okay?"
Oh.
Actually, I'm doing pretty good,
Hey,
John.
mouth pain is way better now. It's
Yeah.
finally dissipated.
Yeah,
I
it's-
agree.
it's-
Like, actually, the entire time from the moment you said it's not helping to now, it has gotten at least 10 times better.
Yeah, that's what's so interesting about heat stuff, man. It's so intense, but it goes away so fast. It's weird.
It's not weird. It's
Also-
science.
It's science. Now,
Like, that's funny.
unfortunately for me, I think I have some jerky stuck in my teeth. So I'm wondering if that's just gonna like linger with the heat most of the show.
Well, while you guys are finishing up your ice cream, we're gonna go ahead and move on.
Are you still panting?
Well, a little bit. That was also dramatic.
Oh, man, I'm running out of ice cream and it's getting worse. Give me
But okay, so moving on. Up next,
You actually
you guys know it, you love it. You have a chance to win something free. We have Remnant Roulette.
Run the roulette.
Can I win?
No, not this time.
Can I win?
You can in the past. But anyways, Remnant Roulette. You guys are about to get asked a question. We'll answer it as well. You post your answer to it in the comments, and then you'll get entered into our random drawing to win a gift here at the end.
Heck yeah.
I've never.
That's not true.
Now, Fun Turn back there's got the question. So,
Fun turn. What's this week's Remnant Roulette question?
This week's Remnant Roulette question is, what is one thing on your bucket list?
nice.
One thing on your bucket list.
What is one thing on your bucket list? I know for me, right off the bat, skydiving.
Skydiving.
Even though I'm terrified of heights, I want to go skydiving so bad.
Why?
I don't know, man. It just seems exhilarating.
God give you wings, kid?
He's like, that's not natural.
It's not. No, I'd love to go skydiving. It does sound like fun. I'd do it the entire time in the plane or helicopter, and then the entire time into the air, and then putting the parachute on, and then listening to him, and then getting ready to jump. I'm gonna be like, this is stupid. The moment I jump, I'm gonna be like, I'm an idiot. After about 5 seconds, it'll be fun.
Yeah, there you go. Just got to get through the process first.
For me.
Nice. I think Scott says to skydive too.
Yeah.
Nice. You guys got 5 minutes to respond to the question, and you get entered into the drawing.
Oh boy.
Much
Bucket
you
list.
lucky.
I kind of have two that are both pretty high up there, and I can't decide which one I'd rather do. One is I want to visit Italy.
Okay.
Like I want to go to like Venice and like Rome and see all those sites. And part of that is also, I think this is because I was recently into all my ancestry stuff not too long ago.
Yeah.
Doing all that
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
Are
But
you
the one,
Romanian?
no. Well, I don't know yet. The one side that I haven't been able to do because my dad's mom, so my grandma, was adopted, so we don't know a lot about her family. But from my understandings, they are like almost straight from Italy, like that. Like her lineage is almost straight from Italy. Her
Wow.
birth parents. And so I've been wanting to try to go through that route, and it'd be really cool to find a distant relative in Italy
That would be
and
wild,
go like
dude.
visit and actually like meet them while I'm there. So
It's like
I
kind
love
of
that,
invite
dude.
yourself into their house for a week.
yeah, exactly.
Hey, I'm your family. But you, Zach, you got something on the bucket list?
I don't know that I've ever made a list on a bucket specifically,
Mm-hmm.
but
Proverbially.
yeah, I've got a few things, man. I'm an adrenaline junkie, so I want to drive a Formula One car. I want to break 200 mile an hour in a vehicle at some point in my life.
Dang, that's wild.
I think that's about it.
Nice,
That I
man.
can think of.
That's a good one. I like
pretty
that. He's got a need for speed.
Hey,
I do want to travel at some point. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you look at different parts of the world. Like, there's this really cool. There's a really cool place in Russia, and it's like just barren wasteland, and it's just flat cold, and there's nothing there. And the goal is to survive. Like, I want to go there and see how long. Like, can I survive for 4 days?
Nice. Really challenge yourself. I love it, dude. Let's see. What do we
What
got
do we
here in the
got?
chat?
Zeke and Scott both said skydiving.
Nice.
for
Let's
them.
go.
John wants to write and publish a book,
That's pretty cool, John.
and we've read some of his stuff before, and it's pretty good.
really solid.
Norman says swim with sharks.
That makes sense for you,
Yeah.
Norm.
Nobody likes sharks, Norman.
Whether being lowered in a cage or actually an open swim with dive instructors. It's a brave man.
Oh, yeah.
I'd open swim. If I'm gonna do it, man, go all the way.
Just might as well do it. Charlie says swimming with dolphins.
Cool.
Willie, go see the Ark Encounter.
Okay.
be cool.
Nice.
Alex wants to go to Israel, but also another to jump off a tall cliff into a giant body of clear blue water.
Okay. Nice. That's I know there's a place in Logansport that used to be able to do that.
Does anybody have anything that's not traveling or adrenaline related?
There's a lake I want to fish.
There you go.
Well, two lakes, but yeah. One is Okeechobee down in Florida.
That's traveling.
It's a dream. I mean, I assumed you okay. My bad. But anyways, okay. So
You didn't say what the other one was.
the other one's a lake up in Michigan where it's so clear you can see the bottom in like 30 foot of water.
That's insane.
That's less than a state away. That's not really traveling.
Okay, Zach.
Let me
Let's
give him
see.
that one.
Anyways, all right. Trent says Battle Sites tour of Europe.
Oh yeah,
That
I've
would
heard
be
Trent
cool.
talk about this. It actually sounds really cool.
Willie says to driver in a sprint car race.
Nice.
That'd be awesome.
Willie's a wild dog. That dude used to race.
You're welcome, John. And then Scott says to get his butt in church. Well, listen, man, it doesn't have to be a bucket list item. You can do that at any time.
That's right, man.
Norman says no, he doesn't know if it's brave or just really dumb. Denise says skydiving. Yeah. So skydiving is actually probably one of the ones that a lot of people want to do.
Heck yeah. All right,
I
man.
wonder what the attraction is.
Probably just the thrill, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's what I would say. All right, man. Let's see. Has it been 5 minutes?
I think
it's been
it
5
has.
minutes. All right. So thank you guys so much for participating in Remnant Roulette. You guys will need to stick around. We'll go ahead and draw them. Well, I'll probably say around 9:45. We'll try to draw winners around 9:45. So go ahead and stick around for the show until then, and you'll see if you win a prize.
Remember, you have to be on when we announce it, otherwise you can't win.
That's right. Now moving on, we're gonna go ahead and ask a couple things about you, Zach.
Go ahead.
Yes, so this is our friend Zach. He is our guest today, if you guys didn't notice that. Now, I want to go ahead and give you the opportunity to introduce yourself. Just kind of tell people how long you've been going to the Remnant, what you do, and just anything else you want to include, man.
Yeah, so, excuse me. First off, for some reason, I have this terrible thing with ice cream. I can drink milk and dairy products all day long, but ice cream, I will sit here and clear my throat for the next hour. I apologize now. It's coming. Okay. I have been at the Remnant since 2012 when it first started, before it was an official church.
Pretty cool, man.
I think they were maybe a few weeks in to starting at the center, and we're having service at. So we had a service in the gym there. Then we moved to the sanctuary, or their foyer area for a while, and we were there for a few years. So I've been at the Remnant since it started, pretty much. So I guess, what is that? I can't do math now. 10 years?
True, that's a true OG right
Oh
there.
boy,
man.
that's
Yeah.
10 years. I just realized that. I don't like that. So
crazy.
I am 28. I've met my wife in high school. We got married after being just friends in high school. So we have 4 kids. And then as far as the church goes, I serve as IT guy. I serve on the media team doing slides, live stream stuff. And then I also serve on the maintenance team. I couldn't think of the word there. My brain almost said media again.
Wear a lot of hats, man. That's one thing I will say about you, Zach, dude. You serve, man, and you have such a servant heart, dude. And that's one thing I really admire about you. So I appreciate all the work you do for us, man, for real.
Yes, sir. God made us to work, so.
It's God made us to work. Well, you're right, though, man. Now, last time we had a couple quick fire questions. I believe Blake was the master of it. So, Blake, do you have any quick fire questions for our friend Zach here?
Do we want to go the typical ones, or do we want to shoot off the hip?
Spice it up.
Nice.
Okay,
Nice.
My mouth
let's
still
do.
hurts a little bit.
All right. All right.
My tongue,
We'll
actually.
start with this. Do you prefer reading or watching a movie?
Reading.
Reading. Favorite book or series of books?
Aragon series by Christopher Paolini.
Nice. This
Incredibly
guy's
sad
hard,
that
dude.
they
He
did
was-
not
he
come
was
out
ready.
with a movie series on that. Because
Hey,
if
you never
they,
know.
that's one of the only nonfiction series that I've read.
Nice. Okay. Let's see. What other favorite Bible verse?
Psalms 46:10. Be still and know that I am God.
Killing it, man. He's made for the quick fire.
I know.
He's made for
I'm
it.
trying to think of others. I wasn't. Let's see. One more. We'll do one more so that people get to know you.
I'm getting ready. Sorry, I'm psyching myself up.
Okay. If you could be any animal, what animal would you be and why?
Grizzly bear. They're just terrifying. Okay, like I'm pretty sure. I mean, a polar bear is technically more aggressive, right, in nature. But like, if I'm that grizzly bear, I can be more aggressive if I want to be. But like, I'm pretty sure a grizzly bear versus a lion, grizzly bear is gonna win, right? Grizzly bear is
absolutely.
like king of the jungle. If it's not that, and ironically, the king of the jungle would actually go to the tiger. That's my second pick. I pick a
Would be a
tiger
tiger.
second
That makes
because
sense.
if you've done the math on it, a tiger will kill a lion.
There you go, man. You heard it here first from Zach.
I just pick animals that can kill things.
We know this.
Just so we're clear what my priority ranking is here.
Gosh dang it, dude. All right.
So
So,
that or a megalodon shark.
dude, listen. Don't even get me started on Megalodon because
Then
it
nothing
existed.
eats me.
Because a lot of people don't believe it existed. It definitely existed, man.
I don't really care if it existed.
He's like, I just want you to know I'd be one.
Just want you to know that it's in my brain at some point.
Gosh dang it.
The
All
only
right.
one I couldn't be was a T-Rex. Couldn't be a T-Rex.
Reminds me
Big
of
head,
the
little
Robinsons.
arms.
Yeah.
Especially with as aggressive as I am sometimes, I would think I would just be the atypical T-Rex and run around and just rage eat things. It wouldn't even be for the purpose of being hungry.
Dude, you are such an interesting guest because you have so many things on just anything, man. I love it. Appreciate you coming on, by the way, man.
Yeah.
So that is Zach. That's a little bit about Zach. If you guys have any questions for Zach, you guys can ask it in our database. If you go to www.theremnant.life/real-talk, or you can just put it in the comments and we'll see it and we can ask. Or if you have any questions about anything else, about God, life, the Bible, literally anything in between, we will answer it today, right now, in this moment, live. Now,
Trent. Wait, who put aggressive Zach? Lindsay. Lindsay doesn't even know. Okay.
you're like, this is telling.
How long, Lindsay? I don't know. How long you've been at our church? Has it been less than a year? Definitely less than a year, I thought, right? I'm not good with time. Just so we're clear, I will make this. That is one thing that you don't want to rapid fire Zach on is when did this event happen? The only reason I can place when the church started was because it happened to be right at when I graduated and was like moving out of high school into my college life, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like I can place that time period. Past that, like if I can't anchor like a specific thing, like you give me a date. Or sorry, if you give me an event like when did Lindsay start coming to the church, I'll be like anytime between maybe a month and a half to a year. I could not tell you at any point in that window when it happened.
Gosh dang it, dude. I'm kind of similar, though, so I get it, man. All right, man, I think we're going to move on. Blake,
What socks are you wearing?
got anything going on in your life, man?
Oh man. What do I got going on? I'm trying to think if there's anything big to kind of catch you guys up on.
Hey, man, if there isn't, man, it's no big deal.
I guess there would be one thing. I had a moment the other night where there's been something that I've been kind of working towards for a while, right? Like this, and it was a super random moment. I think I was carrying one of the tables upstairs, and it just like hit me. Like it was one of those weird moments. It was like, this doesn't make any sense. It's happening now, but it does because of God, right? And I was thinking about it. I was just like kind of like thinking and talking out loud, and like I was like, hey, you know, I was like, God, like what, like how do I know, right? Like what should I do? And the one thing that kind of kept coming back was one of the things, like the thing that kept playing in my head was in a couple of Todd's sermons where he would say like, hey, like hold God to his promises, right? Like hold God, like make him come through, kind of like not in an aggressive like way, but like let God come through.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, like that kept playing. I was like, okay. So that happened a few nights ago. So like the last couple of days I've been trying to be very intentional with what I'm doing and what I'm preparing and studying and stuff like that to try to lead to that. So like that's been cool. And I know it probably sounds a little like ominous and everything, so I'm not going into details, but like if you guys want details, I will, but not necessarily needed, I think. But just the idea of like, man, like have I actually done what God has told me I should be doing, you know, in a lot of ways. Like have I actually been doing the things to try to hold him to what he promises from his side if I do, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
absolutely, man.
that was kind of thing that hit me the other day, and just like, and I will say, so like I've been doing the Joy Challenge from Real Talk, the pre-recorded, and there's been a couple of days I think I missed, and like looking back, like those 2 days felt different than the days that I did do it, right? And it's super simple. I would really encourage you guys, if you're kind of, you know, this was kind of the whole point behind it too that Todd brought up, was like, hey, this is a way to like jumpstart what's happening in your life and continue to just change, right? Like, like make a solid, tangible change in your life that'll affect everything. I'm like, man, it has, like, you know, 'cause he suggested reading through Mark's, like I've been doing that and stuff, and like that's been slapping me in the face, like in a good way, but like, and so everything else is meant to just like make that change and get you going for the day, and it's been cool. It's been cool to see. So yeah, I guess that's really it for me.
Heck yeah, man. I love that, dude. One thing I will agree, man, that the Joy Challenge has been so eye-opening for me too, man. Like, just it. I think I said it last week, but like it really challenges you to focus on. It kind of goes in the order of what, like, how you should approach life. To me, it's like you love God, you love others, and like it's part of that Joy Challenge is doing those things first before you even do anything with your day, and it just changes your whole perspective on how you're approaching the day and how you're putting God first, and you're putting others before yourself, and then you naturally find yourself in a better mindset. It's awesome. So it's really cool, man.
Yeah.
Zach, I don't unless you have anything, man. I know you've been talking a lot, dude. So like if you don't have anything,
Doesn't bother me none. No, man. The biggest thing in my life that I've kind of been wrestling through or struggling with is I've just been trying to work on being more disciplined and structured, just in general. Did a kind of a, I guess, crazy thing where I broke my life down 7 days a week by half-hour increments, and like I scheduled everything.
wow.
I like promised myself I'll get up at 4:30 in the morning every day. Luckily, I got an accountability partner. Shout out to David Ludi.
There you go.
Call him every morning. But yeah, I'm gonna get up 4:30. It's time to go to the gym, get ready for work after that, and like I've budgeted everything out in my day. And man, it makes things I thought it would be more stressful to like have a regimen like that is so detailed, but it's been super good in my life, and like I've been able to spend a lot more time in the morning, like reading my Bible and prayer time, and like intentional, like
Yes.
that's what this time is for. And I don't have that. I guess I've learned I don't have that anxiety in the moment that at the end of this 30 minutes, even if I'm good at dedicating 30 minutes to it, at the end of this 30 minutes, like this next thing is coming. Because like it's almost feel like it was an unknown before, and now it's a known. Now I know okay, it's prayer time, gym time. So we wake up, we get prepped, we do our prayer time, we read our Bible.
Do
we
you
go
find
to the
yourself
gym.
more present doing this?
Oh, way more. And like, because
cool,
I'm not as, like, unless things are outside my normal schedule, like this is a little bit different, right? Because normally my bedtime is 9:30 because I'm an old man now, right? I start getting ready for bed at 9:30, and my set bedtime, like to try to be asleep, is 10:30. Target 6 hours. Never happens, but it is what it is. So like this is kind of outside of it, but knowing that it was planned outside of my schedule makes it easier to be here because like I already know what tomorrow looks like, and I can already budget for sleeping for 4 hours. I can plan for that.
Yeah.
So
That's really cool,
weird.
man. One thing that's cool about all that, dude, is just like being willing to like actually take steps and put things into action. So like, you, even though it was probably hard to put all that together, like you did it, and then you didn't just let it sit there. You actually went through with it. It's really cool, man, because I'm sure that gives you confidence.
And David actually said the same thing to me after his second day of it. It definitely sucked, but like, it's crazy how much better my life has been. Like, obviously, I'm going to chalk a lot of that up to like I'm consistently in the Word, I'm consistently in prayer, and it's intentional time.
Yeah.
But I think God has also blessed the fact that like I asked Him for this, and I said, "Hey, give me the strength to like be structured, be disciplined, and to execute." And I've been faithful in that, right? I think in the last month I had a migraine, so I slept in one day, and then I woke up like I straight slept through my alarm one day. Other than that, I've been 4:30.
That's awesome.
That's even
man.
on the weekends, which is when. That's a rough one. That's rough. Let me tell you, because I can't go to the gym first thing, so I can't like just dump a bunch of pre-workout and say this will fix it.
This will fix it.
I go to work at 5 o'clock in the morning on the weekends now
Yeah.
just to get some like time in, and I'm like sitting at a computer screen. Stay awake, Zach. You're disciplined.
You're disciplined. You can do it, man.
When you're telling yourself you're disciplined, you're like you're soft.
Gosh dang it, dude. No, that's really cool, man. Thanks for sharing. And, like anybody listening, like, if anybody struggles with structure, man, I know I'm one of those people that struggle with structure. I rebel against it, if I'm honest with you. And so, like, that's one thing that's really cool, man. It's cool to hear, like, a little testimony of how that can actually, like, positively affect your life, and, like, it's made you more present, man. So I appreciate you sharing that. If anybody has a hard time with that, man, maybe, if you come to church, talk to Zach about it. So pretty cool.
I'll share my schedule with you.
There you go.
It's funny is like when you say that you rebel against structure and things like that. Brandon actually made a comment earlier that I saw earlier. The words said the same one twice. Brandon made a comment earlier that said, "Live your best life," and it was a small jab at me because I used to get in trouble for saying I do what I want all the time, to the point that people at church started saying it to leaders in the church. And so Todd had to be like, "Zach, you have to quit saying this." And like, he meant it because he knew that when I said it, I also meant it. Because that's my nature. I'm rebellious at heart. Well, I didn't put this together. Brandon came and stayed with me for a few days when it was like super cold out, right? And he was hanging out with me in my kitchen one day, and we were talking, and I said just randomly, I was like, "Yeah, man, live your best life." And kind of implying like, whatever, it doesn't matter, do what you want. And he was like, "Is that your like subtle way of like just saying I do what I want still?" And I was like, "I don't like this, shut up."
You're like,
"You're probably right, but like don't tell people." So when you hear me say that, I was like, I too want to rebel. But the cool part is putting it in that schedule. The live your best life, like that side of I naturally like structure, but I want to rebel when other people do it. So when I did it for myself, it kind of got rid of some of that natural rebellion, I guess.
yeah. Let's see here. Hey, Zach, you should talk about how you created almost exactly the same spreadsheet for scheduling I did. Excel
Okay,
nerds.
so I'll just hold on. It's actually linked to my homepage because I'm structured.
And while you're looking that up, how about you
got
guys
it.
out there? Like, what do you guys do to help you be more present throughout your days? 'Cause that's a big thing for you, right? Like, that's kind of the whole point of this. Like, throughout the day, because you know that things are kind of going to fall in place, you found yourself be able to be more present.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like for me, that wouldn't like I would not be able to be present because I'm the opposite. I'd be like, okay, I have to go at this thing at this time, right? And it would flip for me. But I still go too far the other way. But so what about you guys? Like what do you do tangibly to kind of like help yourself be present in those moments? But yeah. So what you got?
Okay, so I'll just kind of flash this at the screen. It's a rough idea. It's just an Excel spreadsheet.
I doubt they'll be able to see it.
I doubt you'll be able to see it. But it's half-hour increments of my life broken up. And I did this on a whim one day. I mean, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
I did this on a whim on a Wednesday. I was talking to David on stage right before worship practice, and it was one of those days where I hadn't been present anywhere. And I was stressed out, and I knew that work, like everybody at work was like, it was one of those, oh, Zach's a manager. Let's go talk to Zach. He'll fix it days. Yeah. Everybody had a let's go talk to Zach day. Mm-hmm. And then I knew coming into church, which I love my job as a tech guy. I love it. I mean, it's probably one of the highlights of my week. But I came in that day and I was like, man, I got 50 billion things to do. And I'm like, I don't know if I should have stayed at work or should have came here. And there was kind of a blurry line as to when I leave because my work doesn't really care what my schedule looks like. They just as long as my job's done, they don't care.
Right.
So that creates like a blurry, inconsistent line. And I showed up and I was just super stressed. So I went back to the live stream computer and I just finally just hacked out my whole life in half-hour increments. Dude, and then I color-coded it too, obviously. And I was like, man, I'm going to show this to Tim. And I showed it to David. Well, when I showed it to Tim kind of gave me like and I was like, well, that's kind of an odd look. Why is he judging me, right?
Why is he judging me?
So I was like, what's wrong? He's like, so, like, did you see mine? Or, like, did you find a template online? And I was like, what are you talking about? And so he thought that he had showed me one that he had made. And it's uncanny how identical mine is to his.
Oh, wow.
The only difference is
similar minds, man.
The only difference is like the color patterns and then obviously the day-to-day things that we're doing. But
sure.
Like we had formulas written for the number of hours in the day that we were doing this thing. We had on the side total number of hours per week doing this task. And then like we even broke up drive time as like small little sections of half-inch. It was incredibly odd. And I looked at him and we called it the nerd convergence. That's what it is. So at some point in your life when you reach a certain, because he did this 5 years ago, which would have put him, I won't date Tim here. He was, Tim and I are about 8 to 10 years apart. So he would have been much closer to the age I am now. And it was just uncanny how close in age we were when he made his versus when I made mine.
That's wild.
Crazy.
And I'm just like, oh man, we might be similar to the same person, Tim. To which immediately he recanted his statement and said we're nothing alike and ran away.
We're nothing alike and ran away.
I'm better than you. I program things.
Let's see. So anybody answer your question, Blake?
Yeah. Willie said that his work schedule's all over the place, so I carry a New Testament workers book with me in my truck and take advantage of my downtime.
That's awesome.
So being proactive with that downtime and using it. Lindsay says, honestly, right now I'm struggling to pull myself out of a deep depression. I'm present with my patients and others, but can fall apart at a moment's notice when I stop and am by myself.
Lindsay, thank you so much for being honest. We're praying for you. I'm sorry that you find yourself in a deep depression. That's hard. Definitely be praying for you. Appreciate you being honest, and just opening up the comments for people to be real. That's what this is all about. So thank you.
Yeah. And I definitely I get that feeling a little bit too, because that's something that I've struggled with a lot. Is I can be around others, around here you guys talk about the schmoozer, like that's
I mean, look at you.
Yeah. But to the negative side of it is like I got really good for the longest time of being able to just put that face on and be okay around people, and I would always fall apart by myself. So like I understand the big thing that helped me, and this might help you, is start those conversations with people.
Yes.
Talk about that stuff, because a lot of times what that means, and this may not be the case for you, for me it was I was hiding so much that, one, I wasn't letting anybody actually see who I was, right? So like I was hiding the true me, and there was nobody to help me. Like I wasn't allowing people to help.
Yeah.
And you've been around for quite a few of those moments that kind of led. I would hide and always be like, oh, everything's fine, and then things would fall apart.
Yep.
So you're not alone. You don't have to go through that stuff alone. Especially like AJ said, and like we do appreciate you being honest, and just continue to seek out those conversations to help, even if you don't think that they will. Because there's going to be times you go, oh, this is dumb, or like they don't actually want to hear or whatever. But there are people in your life that I know would love to sit down with you and help you through that with those conversations. So.
That's good, man. Let's see. We got anybody else?
Blake, if you don't mind, I'm gonna just pray for Lindsay right now.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do
go
it.
for it, man.
Dear Lord and Heavenly Father, God, I just ask right now that you would just put your healing hands on Lindsay, Father. We pray right now that you would be with her and comfort her, God, that you would give her a peace that we don't understand, that just transcends our understanding, Father. God, we pray right now that this depression would be lifted from her, and that she would just she would be able to feel your love and your peace, Father, and she would be able to just rest in that, God. And God, I pray that whatever the source of this depression is, God, that you would take that from her life, and that you would just heal this fully. And we pray all these things in your name, Father. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Zach.
Let's see.
Love you, Lindsay.
Yeah, and she said, "I'm good at fixing others. It's hard to admit I can't fix myself." I
Yep.
get it.
Yeah, that's a sermon right there.
Let's see. John says he tries to read his Bible during breaks and lunches at work. So again, like taking advantage of the downtime and not just letting yourself just float.
Yeah, just letting it go by. Exactly.
Heck yeah, man. That's a good way to set the standard and set culture too at work. So good way to be a light, John.
Yeah.
Hey, you're welcome, Lindsay.
You are welcome. Cool.
All right, man. Thank you guys for answering the question. We're actually going to go ahead and move on to some questions that have actually been asked by you guys.
Nice.
Let's see. So we haven't got any anonymous ones in real time, so we'll go ahead and go to our sheets here. We'll go ahead and just start with number 1. I can just read it, Blake.
Go for it.
I got you. It says, I've been wrestling a lot with where I stand with God / my faith in my life. How do you hold on to his promises when everything around you seems so dark and there is no way out? How do you trust that he'll be on the other side and there are brighter days ahead? So,
Hey, Jay. I would say the big thing is, we talk about a lot around here is find that anchor verse. Find something to remind you of that. And that's the big thing. And ironically, because you said that, first question is like, how do you, when everything around you seems so dark, there isn't a way out. The thing is, ironically, we talked about this tonight in youth group. And one of the verses I used is 1 Corinthians 10:13. And it says, "No temptation has overtaken you except what is common to humanity. God is faithful, and he will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able. But with the temptation, he will always provide a way of escape so that you are able to bear it." So the reminder that
good, man.
God is giving you a way out. He's showing you a way out, whatever that may look like. Whether it's people around you, maybe it could be a way to physically remove yourself from a situation. But God tells us right here that there is a way out. So remember that, and then trust. How will you trust he'll be on the other side? And there are brighter days ahead. Look at your life and look at the people around you, and look at the miracles. Because I think that's one thing that we oftentimes will kind of skate past is because because a dead man isn't raised from the dead, like there's no miracles, and that's not true. There are miracles literally around us all the time. So the big thing I would tell you is find a verse that you can hold on to, write it down, put it somewhere. Like me, like every time I come across a verse like that, I make a wallpaper and put it on my phone, right? It's on my lock screen, just so like it's constantly there. Like I see it every day. A lot throughout the day, but do little things, write it on a note card, stick it on your mirror, do stuff like that, and then have people around you that can speak truth and that can remind you that it's not as dark as it seems.
That's good, man. I really like what you said, especially about like there being a way out. Like there is a way out. It reminds me of the song Waymaker. I don't know. I would imagine whoever asked this question, you are a believer. I would suggest listening to the song Waymaker, because he makes a way, man. He makes a way in ways you would never expect. I think that it's a matter of a shift of perspective. You talked about, how do you trust that he'll be on the other side and there are brighter days ahead? sometimes even in the darkest of days, like, there are still things to be thankful for, and you can be blessed. It's just a matter of perspective and how you actually look at it. And I guess I would say for me, like, what's your prayer life like? Are you praying for these situations? I know for me personally, I found myself in a place lately where, I wasn't really trusting God very much. I wasn't really going to him. And if I was, it wasn't like, I wasn't really going to him in like ways I really needed to. It was just kind of like your standard ways of going to him, if that makes sense. So like, I know I can relate to the sense of like, having that feeling of feeling like there's no way out. Like there is a way out. He is the way maker. And like, I don't know. That's just something that came to mind for me is like, funny enough, you actually talked about holding God to his promises earlier, and someone asked the question about holding his promises, I guess really truly ask yourself, like, how much do you believe it? And if you believe it, man, like, treat it like it's real, so that includes doing what God tells you to do. Are you reading his word? Are you meditating on his word? Are you in community with other believers that can help you through hard times? There's a lot of things that we tend to neglect, and then we find, we feel like there's no way out, and at the end of the day, if you're not doing what God's told you to do, there could be issues. So it's like, I don't know. I would encourage you to really, first off, be encouraged that there is a way out, but also like evaluate, see where you're at. So,
and one little quote that all like stuck to me years ago is like I forget how to put it, but essentially your percent of making it through bad days is 100%. You've made it through every bad day you've ever had up to this point.
Yeah, that's good.
So
dude.
like your average is 100. Like you know what I mean? So like
That 1,000.
Yep.
exactly. So like keep that in mind. Like there's been times that you've probably felt very similar and you've made it through those. So be encouraged that you can. So
That's good, man. I like that. All right. I don't think we still don't have any
still
new
nothing
ones.
anonymous.
No.
Hey guys,
so,
don't forget. You guys can drop in anonymous questions if you don't feel comfortable putting them in the chat at www.theremnant.life/real-talk.
there it is.
It's completely anonymous, instantaneous, and
Anonymous.
again?
I don't know. Did you say anonymous already? Dang it. I always forget the
Anonymously,
third one.
instantaneously, and something else. Man,
Yeah, I
don't
can't
remember
think
what
of the
it is.
third one either.
How
What?
fast do you think you can say www.theremnant.realtalk? Yeah, see, I can't say it. I can't do it. I'm
It's
not
hard.
practiced.
It's hard. man.
www.theremnant.life/real-talk.
Oh, that was pretty quick. www.theremnant.life/real-talk.
Listen, as much as I would love to say
Look, I just show up to
something,
cause chaos. Exactly what I thought.
well, let's see. Some people.
Oh boy.
John says, I'm the guy that always looks at the bright side of everything, even in the bleakest situations. That's
Yeah.
cool. And
Heck yeah, man.
stuff like that's a gift.
Oh, absolutely it is. Gift of joy, man.
It's just like Todd. Always the optimist.
That's right.
Gosh dang, Zach.
Chaos.
Anyways, Norman says, one thing that helps me when I'm wrestling with things is telling myself if I really believe Jesus is who he says he is, then I can hold him to his word and his promises.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Norman.
And Jane says, another weird thing that can help is taking time to thank God for the good stuff. Sometimes when stuff sucks, I just like to write lists of good things that are so good about life.
That's awesome, Jane.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
That's
because
good.
I think that develops a culture of like thankfulness, and I think that's important in faith. Because like even when things are bad, things are still good. Like that's part of being a Christian. Is like we are the light of the world, right? We can't be the light of the world if we're just depressed all the time, So like even when you're going through hard times, we still have this ability to be the light of the world. It's just whether or not you choose to be.
Yep.
So.
And then, ironically, another verse in Philippians: "Don't worry about anything, but in everything, through prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God."
There it is. It's good stuff.
So,
man. Bringing the scripture, I love it.
Nice. It's just here.
It's just here.
I didn't do this. It just appeared on my phone.
No, but yeah, cool.
All right. With that being said, we'll go ahead and we'll move on. Actually, what time is it? Oh, no, we still got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and move on to number 3 under Blake.
Nice. All right. What do we got? Here we go. If people are good, don't drink, cuss, or smoke, and they have lots of good works, will God give them a pass without accepting Jesus?
Right off the bat, I mean, no. He won't. That's one thing we talk about a lot is like you can, that's actually our verse for our church. We talk about works, right? So too at the present time, there's a remnant chosen by grace. And if not by grace, it's by works. And if by works, grace no longer ceases to be grace. So like, that is one thing that we talk about a lot. And, you can be a good person in this life. You can do all the right things. It makes me think of the rich young ruler. Who it says Jesus loved him. He followed all the commandments. He did everything right. But when it came down to this one thing, which was give up your possessions and come follow me, he walked away in sorrow. He was sad. He didn't want to do it. He didn't do it. So the only thing that saves you and that promises you eternal life is accepting Christ, accepting him as Lord, believing that he died and rose up 3 days later from the dead. Like, it talks about, what is it? It's Romans, is that 10:9?
I don't know that one.
I think
You said you weren't going to put me on the spot, AJ.
I think my bad. Yeah, I looked right at you. Is that the one, Zach?
I mean, I can Google it.
But yeah, it's in. I believe it's in Romans, and I want to say it's 10:9, but don't quote me on that. But it's if you confess with your lips and believe in your heart that Jesus Christ is Lord, you will be saved. And that's one thing. Todd, he's the head pastor here. He. Great preacher, man. Dude always preaches great messages. But that's one thing that he says just about every single message he does. He talks about the gospel. He talks about that is the only way, man. So yes, somebody can do they can do all those things right, but God will not give them a pass without accepting Christ as their Savior.
Yep.
That's right, Willie.
Yep.
Willie nailed it. He said, Jesus said, no one comes to the Father but through me.
That's right.
It's true.
Amen.
It's truth.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think to your point, kind of to go with that, like that's the idea is with the rich young ruler, in his instance it was greed, right? And it was his love of his money and his possessions. But the thing that where we have to kind of look in the mirror is like we all have something.
Yes.
Like what is your thing? And the difference between having something and saying, but I won't give it up, right? Versus saying I have this thing, and I'm willing to give it up to Jesus, right? Now, obviously, we won't know until the moment that Jesus shows up and says, like, hey, it's time to do it, right? Whether or not we would be much better than that guy, right? But at least when you're the intention in our heart is to say, like, Father, like, I will give this to you, right? That is what my heart's cry is to say that, maybe I have a love of money, but I'm willing to sacrifice that for you, or maybe not even a love of money, but like I love the things that I have, right?
Yeah.
Or, a struggle for me when I think about it is my children, and my wife. Like, man,
right, man.
I think of the disciples, and they left their families, some of them,
yeah,
right?
man.
And they just, like, Jesus said, hey, follow, and he's like, don't worry about your family, right? And it's, for me, I immediately go to like you mentioned earlier, the work part of me, the pride part of me that says, like, but that's my responsibility,
Right.
But then
That's
I
hard,
think
man.
like that was a gift from him. I better be willing to give it up, like,
yeah, dude, it's hard, man.
So, I mean, I think that the difference is like it's where our heart says, like, if I can look at it now and just flat out say, no, I wouldn't give that up, versus like I would say I would hope that I would, right? Like, and I believe that, in my heart, if it was Jesus, I would say that I would.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we won't know till we're tested, but I think that's the idea, is that that's the separation, because we all have that thing, but what's your heart's desire in that moment?
It's good, man.
That's good. And that kind of goes to what John said too, because he said a hard question to ask about doing good deeds. Are you doing them for Jesus, or are you doing them for yourself?
Absolutely, man. That's a gut puncher, dude. That's a great comment,
It's a
John.
really good question, John.
Yeah, absolutely. That, and again, yeah, it goes back to what are works. I think James talks about that. In James, I can't remember the verse, but
That's surprising.
Yeah. I was like, my brain stopped working. But he talks about the idea of good works too, and like how that how it equates to nothing if it's not for like Christ. So like it makes sense, man. That's a good question, John.
Because there's the is this the one in James where it's like, did I not prophesy in your name, Lord? And then
I might
can't
be.
I don't know if that's the same.
Quit
verse.
looking at me. I was told I wouldn't be put on the spot today.
You're doing so good. No, there is a verse. I can't remember where it's at off the top of my head, but it does say like, there's going to be people that go to heaven and be like, Lord, did I not prophesy in your name? Did I not do all these good works in your name?
Cast out
And-
demons. Yep.
Yeah, and Jesus is going to say, I never knew you.
Yep.
Like,
Spit you out. Yep.
yeah.
You're
So
lukewarm.
it doesn't matter, like the funny thing I always tell our youth kids, it doesn't matter how many like cookies you give to the guy down the street or whatever, but like, why are you doing it?
Yep. It all goes back to the heart, man. All goes back to the heart, and like God sees your heart, and He knows where you're at, and like that's why when it comes to like Christianity and like your faith, like man, like that is like you have to really, really wrestle with how real this is, and like it talks about how the fruits will show, and like that's what we talk about. We'll talk about that a lot. Is like, what is your life showing that is different from before you knew Jesus? And it's like, for me, I think about all the times that I was just a careless, I was just careless and like didn't have any hope, and I didn't really care much for people. And so it's like, what is the transformation there? And it's like, I have to keep in mind like what fruits am I bearing? That's one thing about Christians who have been Christians for a long time too, that we've talked about in the past is like, you can keep doing these good deeds all you want, but like if your heart stops doing it for Christ, man, then you got an issue. So like, I don't know, I guess just a little challenge for all you out there that are listening. Really check your heart on where you're at right now. With what you're doing, are you doing good things? Good. Are you doing it for what John said? Are you doing it for yourself or are you doing it for Christ? So I don't know, man, it's good stuff.
Yeah, it's really good. How's the tube crew looking over there?
Oh boy, I haven't checked. I'm so sorry, guys. I haven't been on YouTube. I dropped the ball on that. Let's see. Kelsey was on. Hey, Kelsey, I'm so sorry I missed all your stuff.
Hey guys.
Let's see. She said, "Nice shirt, AJ." Yeah. Thank you, Kelsey. Kelsey
I
made
might
the
win
shirt. Let's see.
I tried.
Right. See if I'm missing anybody
I am
else.
beautiful.
I will be on YouTube moving forward now, so I apologize, YouTube crew, for not being on here. Like I said, I was going to be, so I'll be on there now.
And that's really good too, Norman. He says, Jesus asked Peter and possibly other disciples the same question we have to ask ourselves: who do we say he is? He said somewhere in Matthew, but
It's good.
Yeah. And that's the crazy part is the men who walked with him daily and saw the miracles still questioned. So like, nice. Jane coming in clutch.
Yep.
Matthew 7, verses 21 23. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. On that day, many will say to me, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name and cast out demons in your name and do mighty works in your name? And then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness.
Man, dude.
It's pretty close to James, though, Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
They actually rhyme.
Practically the same thing.
Practically the same thing. Dang it.
Gosh dang it, Zach.
That's what we brought him on for.
Chaos.
All right,
Thanks,
so
Jane.
we got a couple. Yeah, thank you, Jane. Appreciate you putting the scripture in for us. We got a couple minutes before we announce our Remnant Roulette winners, so stick around, y'all. We're almost there. With that being said,
Kelsey feels attacked.
Oh, no.
but we're out here.
Kelsey on YouTube says, that's fine. YouTube is the land of the forgotten, but we're out here. Kelsey, you're not forgotten.
Calling me out. Calling me out. You got me.
But it is AJ's fault. Just so you know. I want to put that on public record. It is AJ's fault.
Gosh,
Clip
dang
it.
dude.
Somebody clip that.
Fun guy, can we clip that right there?
It is AJ's fault.
Fun turn, fun guy.
Just put it
Can we
across
make
the
sure that
screen.
gets clipped?
It's just like in the quotations, we just change it. It's just, this is AJ's fault.
I suppose since we're only 3 minutes away, I'll just go ahead. We'll do number 5 real quick. It's more of a comment than anything. It just says, I love you guys. What you do matters. I'm so thankful to have come across this podcast and church. Keep doing what you guys are doing. Thank you so much for taking the time to encourage us. That's one thing that we do. One of the things that we can struggle with sometimes is just wondering, hey, is this reaching people still? Hey, is this still impacting people's lives? And so for you to take the time to just tell us, hey, what you're doing matters. We see you guys. It means a lot. This is one thing that I will say is, Real Talk, live and on the web series. I don't know, man. A lot goes into it, and so we put a lot of resources into it. The church that sponsors at the Remnant, they are such a cool sponsor to have, and so for them to put the trust in us to do the show, and just for you guys to see that it means a lot. So thank you so much. Let's see. We still got 2 minutes. Dang it, I was hoping I was gonna be able to.
That's when you take out the classic quote of, "Well, what can I say except you're welcome."
Dang it, dude.
We're getting very close to copyright infringement right now. I think there's some laws against what's happening.
I mean, did you expect anything less with me?
No.
Stream just gets ended immediately.
And for those of you that didn't know, or if you're hearing this for the first time, Norman brings up a good point. This is just a Real Talk Live. It's a little bit different. Real Talk pre-recorded podcast comes out every week, and that's AJ and Todd and Fun Turn back there, and they get the opportunity to go a lot deeper into a lot of this stuff and have a lot deeper conversations.
Yeah, man.
Just because it's not live, but it's still really good. So if you're looking for more of the serious and deeper side of Real Talk, go check that out. It's on
That's right, man. Latest episode
podcast.
198 is called Flashback.
So are you saying this isn't deep? Or
Oh, no,
that
I'm
I'm
just
not
saying
serious?
Come on.
What's the next segment? What are we doing next year?
Swerve.
All right, it's about that time, folks. We're going to go ahead and draw the winner for Remnant Roulette. So we'll see who the winner is. You got 2 minutes to respond if you are called the winner. So, Zeke.
That's not Zach.
Sorry.
Close, though. Strangely close, actually.
Zeke, are you on?
Zeke, you are the winner.
Zeke Heffelfinger.
Let us know if you're here.
Hey, thank you, Willie. Willie said 198 was good. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate
yeah.
you listening.
198 was
Almost as good as 199. That's this one, guys.
This is not 199.
I said it is.
And your truth says that.
Oh boy. Where's the button?
Did we make a Zach mute button?
No.
In hindsight, we definitely should have.
That's what Fun Turn's back there for.
That's right. Fun Turn's
He's
back
ready
there
on the
to-
draw.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see if he's fast. What can
Zeke,
I
are you
say?
on, good friend?
Oh man, I don't know, man.
Zeke, it's not looking good.
He
No!
is here.
He
slid
He
in.
slid in last minute.
Zeke
There
is-
he is. Zeke,
Zeke is
you are the
still not
winner.
here.
We will be in contact with you to get you your gift, my friend. Congratulations. Thank you for watching, man. Appreciate you.
right.
I'll take that,
Don't know
Zeke.
why I
Thank
was
you.
doing this so much, but I did. All right. So, moving on. Let's see.
John says, "Hey Zeke." That's it.
Nice.
Yeah, Alex, did you tell him? You better not have told him.
Oh.
Looks, Alex is only on this podcast to support the idea of her having babies this year, making it a publicly known thing. And Zeke is actually really excited about it. I'm pumped for Zeke to be a dad. Did you hear that, Zeke?
Did you hear that, Zeke?
Oh boy.
Pushing the envelope
him
here
out.
today.
Alex told him. See, everybody knows.
Oh,
Nice. I've just been informed that we have live questions on the database.
Nice.
All right, so let's go ahead and
Good
check
Slide
those
in
out.
there.
How's YouTube doing?
Well, I gotta go back here in a second. I'll get there.
I'm just picking on you. There's only been one more comment. My wife decided to agree with Kelsey, and Kelsey said you're welcome. That's it.
Nice. Way to back me up, man. Appreciate you.
I was
All right,
trying
so
to
we
just be better.
We have you said it so deadpan. We have a couple of anonymous questions here that you guys have asked in real time, live in this moment. So we'll go ahead and go with that first one. Fun Turn. It says, "What do you do if you were just in this pit of sadness and seeing the world the way it is now? How do you get out of the dumps?" That's a pretty real question. Appreciate you being honest with where you're at. And I get that. The world's heavy, man. I would say, it's interesting. Kind of, it feels like it's a revolving theme here, but you got to really just gauge where you're at with what you actually believe. If you're a believer, I don't know if you're a believer or not, but if you are and you put your faith in Jesus, you've really got to gauge where you're at with actually believing how real this all is, and that doesn't take away from that pit of sadness that you feel like you're in and seeing the world the way it is. Had conversations with Todd actually about something about the world and how it is, and we talk about how he's mentioned how we're kind of in the Shadowlands, and what we mean by that is we're kind of in this we're in this picture of what God meant the world to look like, but it's just because sin has been in it now for so long, it's just kind of like it's like a carbon copy. It's like a carbon fiber copy almost. Like it's almost what it's supposed to be, but it's just something's off. And like, so I understand that feeling. And how do you do to get out of the dumps? Well, again, I'm going to assume you're a believer in this case. Like, cling on to what God tells you. God tells you that, that there is hope, that that you are a light of the world, and that you can provide hope to others, and like, really just like find something that you can cling on to that you find hope in. I know for me personally, like when I am in a place of feeling down, which I can struggle with this too. Like, trying not to get out of the dumps is hard for me sometimes. So like, for me, when I remember what Jesus has done in my life, man, that really gets me out of the dumps, because I can remember just where I was and how hopeless I was and what he's done for me, and that immediately makes me more hopeful.
Yeah, man, I would say the other, I agree with everything you said. The other side of it to remember too is that, like, the battle that you're in right now, the fight that you're in here on this world has already been won. Your fight's already been won. Your battle's already over. Right? Because at the end of the day, like AJ said, like we're here. This world has become very dark, and we're in the Shadowlands and we're fighting. But at the end of the day, the battle's already won. The fight for you has already been won. You just have to be willing to accept that.
That's good, man.
And that's what Jesus did when he died on the cross. Is he defeated death. He won the battle for you. So wherever you're at, like, he did that for you specifically. So how do you get out of the dumps? Like, remember that. Yeah, like, it kind of sucks right now, but at the end of the day, that doesn't matter in the grand scheme, because what's waiting for you, assuming you've accepted Christ, is beyond what we can even fathom. We're told that we can't. The riches of this world don't even begin to touch what the riches of heaven look like, and what's waiting for us there. So remembering that this is temporary, and that the world does kind of suck because of sin, because we've brought sin into this world. But that battle's been, it's over. The battle's over.
Reminds me of I believe is it Romans 8:18? I can't think of how it's worded, but essentially to keep it what's the word I'm looking for? Summarize it without actually
Paraphrase.
Yeah, there we go. To paraphrase it, it is essentially saying today's present suffering will not even equate to what paradise will be.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
That's something to keep in mind as well.
For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed to us.
It's good, man. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I would say my advice was incredibly similar to Blake's, but I think that for lack of a better word, I don't like the word advice because it feels like I'm telling somebody, right? But like,
I get it.
I would say for me, obviously I'm a believer, so mine is that, I know that I always think about my own testimony in the sense that, like, I can think of things in my life that I can't explain, right? Like, why am I in this chair where I'm at when I should probably be dead, given my backstory, right?
Yeah, man.
So, like, I cling to that. And so if you're a believer, I guess my encouragement is always to, like, to believers is, like, think of your life story. And, like, think of all the things that you just can't explain and just rest in, like, that's your proof.
Yeah.
And then I go to kind of what Blake said, like, for those that aren't believers, there's still a hope, like, it's there. You just have to want it, right? And you have to, and I would say that if anything, like, the proof of that sadness and that hurt and that hole that you're trying to fill all the time and that thing that you're always trying to chase that creates the circumstance and the sadness that you feel all the time, it's because you'll never be able to fill it, right? And that's the difference. And that's where our hope comes from, right? And it's not to say that we don't get sad, right? And it's not to say that we don't, as Christians, we don't struggle with depression or any of that, right? We still suffer from the consequences of sin, just like a non-believer would in a physical sense, but we have the hope that, like, to die as Christ and to live as gain.
Yeah.
Like that's
good, man.
Or to live it. Did I say that right? I said it backwards, I think.
To live as Christ, to die as gain.
Yeah, there we go. Yep, sorry, my bad. I said it backwards. But, like,
I
that's...
thought you said it right. Weird.
Maybe I did. I don't remember at this point, man. So, but, like, that's kind of where, like, I cling to is, like, I look at it as almost like, for me, as a believer, my hope comes even like in the dark moments. I'm like, at the bare minimum, if I get rid of everything external to me, I can at least say, like, I know there are things as a logical guy, I can't explain this. Like, I can look at, I look at reality and I say, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, all of the, like, I broke laws. There's, like, certain things that I did that's, like, I shouldn't have got away with that. I just should not have gotten away with that, right? This X thing should have happened. And I look at other countless situations of people that were in that situation, and it happened to them.
It did happen, yeah.
And I'm just like, man, that was God's hand on me right then and there in that moment. So my hope comes from the fact that I can look at my own testimony, my own story, and say, like, God's real. I know it. And in the same way, I would encourage the people, like I said, that don't believe. I mean, like AJ said, really examine your life and see where you're at. And maybe, hopefully, you'll realize too that you've spent your whole life chasing something, trying to fill a void or a hole or a want or a hurt. And honestly, it's never going to happen until you come to know Jesus. It won't happen, And you got to realize the biggest part is realizing where you're at, the gravity of your situation. We are broken and flawed, and we suffer from death through the consequence of sin.
Yep.
And there's only one thing that fixes it.
That's right, man. You need a savior.
Yep, you need a savior. That would be my advice to you.
It's good, dude.
It's really good because, going along with that, John said that the prophet Habakkuk asked God why. And he said, evil is only temporary, not eternal. Have faith because even giants fall, right? So remembering that, like,
that's good.
It doesn't
It's really
matter.
cool.
Denise kind of hit it too. Situations are temporary, feelings are temporary, but Jesus is forever. So remembering that whatever you're in now, like, it's not where you're going to be.
Amen, Denise. That's good.
It's really good. And then, let's see. They wanted to know how we feel about beards. Jane asked how we feel about beards.
Oh, beards are cool.
Small flex.
Small flex.
Don't hate
There
me
it
because
is.
I'm beautiful.
There it is.
Thank you, Josh Adams.
Okay.
Small shout out to my boy.
I think we've made it pretty clear.
Yeah, that's right. We've made it clear. Gosh dang it.
Gosh, it looks so ridiculous on camera. Turn that off. No, but on a very serious note,
Yeah,
what kind of beard product do you guys use?
I don't use any.
When it's shorter like this, I don't do as much to it, but I at least keep some beard oil in it. And I use some what am I using? No, not Harry's. Pete and Pedro beard oil.
Well played. Dollar Beard Club.
Nice.
There you go. I'm all natural, man.
Normally I would say that you've dishonored yourself. But in case anybody is not aware of this, AJ has an incredibly soft beard.
It's true. It is.
I don't understand it. If he doesn't put anything in it, I don't understand.
It's probably softer than mine.
Really?
Like mine's pretty soft now, and I think I'm in the running. But I also brush mine, comb it every day, put product in it morning and night. Sometimes in the middle of the day if I feel like it. I have a special shampoo
A
for
lot
it.
of upkeep, man.
I get it.
It's a lot of upkeep. But
You're
I'm
good.
beardful, so now, and I'm only beardful because I know I'm not beautiful.
Stop it.
Here it comes.
Gosh dang it.
Anyways,
So
Looks like Alex.
we
had a
all like
question, too.
beards,
yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, of course we all like
except for
beards.
Austin.
Willie says he uses Cremo beard oil, vanilla, and shampoo.
There you go.
Cremo's good stuff. Actually,
good.
I've got
I
their
like
hair
it.
products for this.
But Alex asked a little bit ago,
Yes.
how have you guys learned to accept God's grace?
I don't always accept it still now, but in the moments that I do, the reason why I'm able to accept His grace is because I realize like that it's arrogant of me to not. It's arrogant of me to essentially say, God, you were wrong. Like, I can't have your grace because I've gone too far when God is above everything. So for me to say that is very arrogant. To me, it's like, a lot of people will view self-hatred as like, a lot of people don't see that self-hatred is a form of arrogance, but it is. And that's one thing that I have to wrestle with because, I can struggle with that a lot. But, one thing that can help for anybody out there that struggles with self-hatred and they can almost use it to justify maybe like feeling that way, just remember that like God's above all that and He loves you. And, if if Christ died for all, that means he died for you too, even if you do, even if you do struggle with self-hatred, like it's not above it. So like, that's how I accept it. Realizing that it's very arrogant of me not to.
Yeah, I think for me, man, honestly, I'm very hard on myself, like naturally. And I wouldn't say that I would say the biggest thing that changed my perspective of grace and like the freedom that you have in it is when I had my own kids. Man, I can look at Christopher and Wyatt and Rowan and like my little baby Eden, man, and I can't think of something they're gonna do that I'm like, get out of my house, or like that I would be, I literally can't. I sit here and rack my brain, and I'm like, what would like? So I'll imagine my youngest Eden. She will be 2 March 23rd. Okay, and God in. As old as he is comparatively, right? Like you've got to think of like he looks at us probably like 2-year-olds, man. And I make that comparison in my head, and I say, what would she have to do at her age for me to no longer love her, feed her, change her diaper, to give her a house to sleep in? What would she have to do for me to kick her out of my house into the cold on her own? And she's still at that age where she's essentially fully dependent, right? Like she can walk around and climb and stuff, but past that, like the moment the Cheetos run out, like she's done, right? So and even Christopher, he's 13, he'll be almost 14 soon, right? So like he's capable of doing a lot of things on his own, but like even him, man, like I can't think of. I just love him so much, man, and I look at that and I'm like, it's got to be the same, like. It's got to be the same way. And I think of, again, the same things that I've done, that the situations I shouldn't have got out of, and I'm like, that was God saying, you don't have to leave my house. Right?
Yep.
So that's what I cling to, man. Is like I look at my own kids and I say, that just, I don't know, man, my heart just swells when I look at them. And I'm like, it's got to be the same for me.
What's crazy, it's probably more. That's the crazy part.
I don't know. She's pretty cute, man. You met my daughter? Dangerous territory there, just so we're clear.
No, man, that's really good, because I think mine is it's very similar to yours, right?
Your dad?
Not that side of it.
Dang it.
I'm not a father.
So excited.
Gosh dang. But no, and the fact that like the two things that I always remember is, one, like I think about where I was at, what I was doing, and where I'm at now, and like I don't deserve to be doing a lot of the stuff I'm doing, right? Because of the stuff I've done. And so, but yet God still allows me to do that. Not just that, but like he took what I thought I wanted, even in the midst of me doing, really stupid, dumb stuff, took everything I thought I wanted, and then, took it away for that time, and then gave it back, but in a way that like I wasn't expecting. That is so much better than what I wanted. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm like, gosh dang it, like I look back at like, for example, like I wanted to, coming out of high school, like I wanted to be I wanted to go into school and be a teacher and like be a history teacher and all this stuff, right? And work with kids and everything, and like that didn't happen. And now I look at where I'm at, and I'm like, because the whole thing about me wanting to be that was because I wanted to be able to coach. I wanted to be able to coach sports, and I wanted to be able to just have that connection with kids. And now I have that, right? I'm not teaching in a school. I've coached tennis every year since I've graduated high school.
Pretty cool,
going
man.
into like my 11th year coaching or whatever, which is your 10th, I think, which is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
But on top of that, I get to teach kids, but not just history. Not just history. I get to teach kids about Christ and about the Bible, right? Like, and I get that opportunity now. And so, like, he took what I thought I wanted and gave it back to me in a way that I wasn't even like fully fathoming what would happen.
It's wild, man.
And then the other side is also similar to you. Is like, I look at what I've done, and it's hard for me to forgive myself, right?
Yeah.
But I've been able to like look and be like, okay, if Zach or AJ did what I did, would I be able to forgive them? Would I be able to move past them? I'm like, yeah, absolutely, because I love them. And I go, oh, yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah, okay. I'm
I
tracking.
get.
That tracks.
Yeah, right. So like
Both sides.
that's kind of the thing for me. So like to answer your question, Alex, is like those are the two things. I'll look at what God has promised me and where I'm at, right? And then also like the things I've done, even though I don't always see how I could forgive myself or someone could forgive me, I try to flip it and be like, okay, could I forgive it? Could I forgive somebody else for doing what I did? And I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely. And I go, oh yeah, okay, so that's how God sees me, right? So that same sort of thought of like you see it from a different perspective, and so that for me, that's kind of the two things that I always try to think about when it comes to grace.
It's good, man.
And the really cool part about the first part about what you said, you know, of God taking things and giving them back to you, is, you know, we can look at that situation and say, you know, I'm glad I'm where I'm at now. But the cool part is like when you really think about it and break it down, like what would have happened if he had given you what you wanted in that moment, right? And even though maybe you have the same thing now, but better in context, right? Like, say you'd have had all of those things when you were younger, like that girl or whatever, all those other things, right? Coaching, like the way you wanted to do it, would it be as good? And we just know that it wouldn't, right? And even if it wouldn't be bad, that's the crazy part to think about. Like for example, I always, again, beating myself up, I think about the fact that I didn't go to college, right? I'm like, yeah, man, I can think about it, but I'm like, if I'd have stayed in college, I might not have came home, because I left college after just one semester at Indiana Tech because of some dumb stuff that I did. Right? And I was super mad. I lost a full ride scholarship, and I was like I don't know how I'll ever recover, right? Like I don't have a degree. I'm going to pay thousands in college debt, right? And I'm like, but I would have never – I don't know that I would have been with my wife, Bree, because I met her 2 months – or I not met her. We started dating like 2-3 months after – I left college. And that was the same time, like, because I came back from college so depressed, that's when I was searching. And that's when I started coming to the Remnant, man. And that's when, like, God put my life on the right track. And I'm just like, man, if I'd have stayed in college, though, like, and I'd have done it right, you know, and not pursued my faith or whatever, I mean, I could have been like an engineer 5 years sooner. I could have been, you know, maybe been at the time I was going for IT. Like maybe I could be in IT, and I'd be an IT. You know, I could be successful in the world's eyes, right? I could have got what I wanted and been superficially happy. And you know, like, and God's sovereign; He can do what He wants, and maybe He could have made a life out of that too. And you know, it is what it is. But like, I have to assume that this is better because He says it is better, right? This is for our good. And, you know, God's good has to be the best because it's who it is.
That's exactly what I was about to bring up.
It's such a cool thing to think about when you, like, break it down. You're like, I could have been successful or happy, but I wouldn't have had the good.
It wouldn't,
It wouldn't be good. And that's a weird thing to think about, is it would not be good. Again, God's sovereign, can do what He wants.
Sure.
Yeah.
But in the direct light of what Zach wanted, or what Blake wanted, or what AJ wanted, in those moments of struggle, it would not have been good.
I even like what you said at the very beginning. I think there's a possibility that it could have been, quote, good, but the way God's where you're at now and how it's happened, it's better. I like that because, like, to me, like,
it's the best, you know. Like that's the way to put it. Like that. Like this is the best
possible.
God has worked it out the best for us. That's so cool. Sorry to cut you off.
No,
I got excited.
That's good. No, it's good, though. Yeah, it's good. All right, let's see. We do have one more anonymous question that came in, so I'll go ahead and we'll throw that up real quick if I can find my right thing here. There we go.
Is it also about beards?
No. It says, what are some ways / things you do to keep yourself self-disciplined?
Accountability is probably the big thing for me. So letting people in and letting them know kind of what your plan is. And the other self-discipline thing for me is like I have to when I want to do something, right? I have to set specific time aside for that. If it just becomes like a thing of like, oh, like I'll do this while I'm doing something, right? Like it doesn't happen. It just doesn't. So I think for me, you know, like a big thing for me is like when I read and journal and pray and do all that stuff, like I do everything at once and I set aside like, okay, I have an hour and I'm just going to do this, right?
Yeah.
Versus being like, well, okay, I guess I could squeeze reading in this time and I'll pray a little bit this time, right? Like set that time aside for whatever you're wanting to do, so that it's different. It is set aside.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, accountability, letting people know, like, hey, like, hold me accountable to doing this, making sure, check in on me, make sure I'm doing X, Y, Z, whatever that looks like.
It's good, man. I like that. I'd say, honestly, that to keep it simple, like short and simple. And this is something that I am continually trying to get better at because I'm not always the best at it. Trust me, is do hard things. That's one thing that's been instilled into us. Remnant House is an internship program we do here that Blake and I are both a part of. And we one thing that we were told a lot is to do hard things. So, what does that look like? Well, if you know there's something in your mind that you're like, I don't want to do this, do it. Stay uncomfortable. That's another thing. Stay uncomfortable. If there's something that is something that you could do or something that you could approach, and that it makes you uncomfortable and it makes you not want to do it, because that's just going to keep making the uncomfortable more comfortable. And before you know it, you're doing wild things. So,
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I agree with both of you. I think the short and sweet, the two things that have helped me is like Blake said. You all saw the crazy schedule I have, right? Then that works for two main reasons. One, I wrote it out, right? I put it on paper so I can see exactly what that is. It's just a proven fact that when you write things out, you're 60% more likely to accomplish that goal. And the more specific they are, the more likely that you are to complete that task.
nice.
And then the other big one I would say is accountability. I told I was going to do this thing, and I got like 3 or 4 days in, and David joined me, and now for getting up at 4:30 in the morning, which does suck, and it is
Hard
not
thing to
fun.
do, man.
I know that if I sleep in, there's a chance that I'm going to let David down, right? So now it's not about me. It's about I've got to be up at 4:30, and I've got to be awake enough and excited enough that when I call him, he gets excited to be up. Because if I call him, hey, David, I'm awake, he's going to be like, yeah, bro, cool. And then he's going to go right back to sleep.
Yeah.
And I know because there's days that it's happened that I'm like, I text him 20 minutes, I'm like, hey, are you still up? And he's like, no, I fell back asleep. And I was like, cool, maybe that's me. I could be better. So now when I call him, I'm like, hey, man, let's get it. Today's the day. We win today.
Yep.
That's cool, man.
So that's really cool. And then I agree with the hard things. I take a cold shower every morning.
There you go, man.
Right on there. Trent's absolutely correct there.
Yeah.
Trent's a wild dog, man.
Oh yeah, Trent's awesome.
So
Mad Max.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think the one thing I left out is what you guys both said: do things that suck.
Yep.
dude,
Cold showers are not fun.
I go straight from the sauna. I'll lift, and then I go to the sauna for 25 minutes, and I get super hot, sweaty. And I'll exercise in the sauna room, which is miserable. And then I'm like this.
Yeah.
I sprint almost as fast as they'll let me run in the Wise pool area. Okay, I book it. I try to run. They yell at me every time. To the cold shower. And, I mean, it's miserable, but every time I get out of the shower, I'm just like, man, that's another day under my belt.
Yeah.
And that's a big one. So, yeah, hard things. Stay uncomfortable. Stay hard.
It's good, man. I love it. All right, cool. Let's see. Time is it, man? We got about 10, 11.
10.
We'll probably answer one more before we close up shop tonight.
If you guys have questions, slip them in.
That's right. Unless you guys do some anonymous questions, this will probably be our last question we do tonight. Let's go ahead. Fun turn. Let's do. We'll give him a deep one. We'll do number 4.
Hey, real quick, Norman put, the philosophy of doing hard things is what I told Ian our theme was going to be this year. Heck yeah, man. Way to incorporate your kid. Teach them when they're young.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah,
That's
absolutely.
awesome, dude.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Stay hard. Love the reference. You're welcome, Trent.
Heck yeah. All right. So unless you guys slip in more anonymous questions, our last question tonight is going to be, I don't think my husband and I love each other anymore, but biblically no reason to separate. How can I do my part to learn to love again? I care for him deeply. Please give me scripture to cling to.
Boy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna read that again.
Yeah, go for it, man. I've actually got something pulled up already.
He came prepared, guys.
Just a little bit. Usually we don't have much prep, but I wanted to have something for this. So this reminds me of 1 Corinthians 13. If there's something that you're looking for, I think 1 Corinthians 13 is going to help you in this situation. So I'm going to start at 1 1 Corinthians 13:4. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not envy. It is not boastful. It is not conceited. Does not act improperly, is not selfish, is not provoked, and does not keep a record of wrongs. Love finds no joy in unrighteousness, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things and believes all things, hopes all things and endures all things. Love never ends, but as for prophecies, they come to an end. As for languages, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will come to an end. For we know in any part, and we prophesy in part. And when the perfect comes, the partial will come to an end. The last bit, it wasn't as focused on what I was talking about towards the first couple parts, but I'd say keep that in mind. If you're looking for something to cling on to, like love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it's not boastful. Let's see. So how can you do your part to love again? Remind yourself of that. That's what John just said too. 1 Corinthians 13, the love chapter. Yeah, man. First off, I'm sorry for your situation. That's hard, and I appreciate you being real enough to share it. That's what this show is all about, is, people living life out, real life out. And this is, you're in a hard situation. And one thing I appreciate about your question is you said that, how can I do my part, which is really humble of you. It shows that you have a heart that you want to do better. You don't want this to stay where it's at. So I would say just cling to that. Love is patient, love is kind, does not envy, it's not boastful, all those things. It's not selfish, it's not provoked, and it does not keep a record of wrongs. I think that even if you could just make that a focus, and you focus on how you can love, how you can love your spouse, I think that'd be huge,
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a really tough situation, and but I think the coolest part about what you said is I care deeply for him.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's the coolest part, but like that sticks out to me because like I'm a husband, and I think of the times when I'm mad at my wife or when I do things that make my wife mad at me, and the times, and I don't mean, I guess I shouldn't say mad, those times when we feel distant and we're separated and there's hurt between us and we don't want to talk and we don't want to work it out. And, those thoughts start to creep in where you're like, do I want to be a part of this anymore? Does he love me anymore? Does she love me anymore?
Yeah.
Is it worth it? All of those things that start to attack you. I think that, AJ's right. The coolest thing you said is like, how can I do my part? And then you said, I care deeply for him. I think I would argue with your opening line that you said, we don't love each other anymore. Only in the sense that it doesn't sound like, or you can't speak for him, I guess, in the sense that when you say we don't love each other anymore, you can speak for you. And I would say to encourage you, it sounds like you still do, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I will separate and discern the difference between love and like. Unfortunately, there's no part of the Bible that says you have to like your spouse all the time, right?
Yep.
Now, if it would be very nice if it did, but it doesn't. And I think that it's really cool that you said that I care deeply for him and what can I do to do my part. That shows that you do love him, right? You want what's best for him into that moment so that your marriage can be healed. And that's what God wants, right? He wants our marriage to be healed, and he wants us, our pastor says it all the time, if I'm loving AJ and AJ's loving me and I'm loving Blake and Blake's loving me and I'm not worried about me, but if I'm always looking outward, somebody else, if not everybody else, is also looking at me.
That's right,
so
man.
Everybody gets loved, right? And it's the same thing. Our marriages are no different, right? So if I look at my wife and I say, man, she is not nice today, but I'm going to do my part. I'm going to care deeply for her.
Yeah.
I'm going to smile when I'm angry. I'm going to clean when I don't want to clean to help her out. I'm going to, show her affection. I'm going to lead when I don't want to lead. I'm going to do all of my part that, that I can, that Corinthians 13 lays out and say, as long as I do this, the goal is that they'll see that, right? And they'll start to catch on, for lack of a better word. And the cool part is most people do, there's no guarantee there, but I would say for your heart, it looks like you are loving your husband. And I think that's beautiful. And I think that question really shows the tenderness of your heart. And I would encourage you that like you said, we can't speak for him, but it shows. It looks like to me that you are loving him, and so I would say, reach out to people, get advice. What can you do?
Yeah.
Talk to him. I'll be an emotional guy for a minute. Like, I love when my wife will come to me and say those things and be brave enough to say, hey, you're hurting me, or hey, I don't feel like you see me, or you don't love me. Now, it's not comfortable for me, and I don't like being called out. But I'll say some of the most beautiful moments in my marriage have been after those conversations. Yeah. And we've worked through it, and we've got to the point where it's like, okay, we were selfless for that half an hour, that 45 minutes where we just talked it out. So I don't know. I would say I'd encourage your heart. It sounds like you're in the right direction. And I would say keep your focus on what you can do, and pray about it. Give it to God. Pray about it a lot, and ask Him to heal your marriage. Continue to do that, and we've got to hold Him to His promises.
That's right.
That's good.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really have anything to add. I think you guys hit all the points I was going to talk on anyway. Right. So.
Cool. Thank you so much for asking that question. I'll reiterate, that's what Real Talk's all about. For those of you that are here still, that's what the anonymous link is for. If you guys have anything that's going on in your life that is hard, it's heavy, and you don't, you're scared to, you're scared to share it with somebody else. This is what the show is all about. It's completely anonymous. If you go to the link, www.theremnant.life/real-talk, and, we'll answer it. We don't skip any questions. We want to dive in, and, that's what we do. That's what we're about. So appreciate you asking that question. Again, I'm going to be praying for your marriage too. That's, it's a beautiful thing for you to reach out. It shows your heart. So,
hey, real quick.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say one more thing. Sorry.
Yeah, go for it, man.
This is something our pastor pushes, and as the guy in the relationship, it's hard to say, but I don't know if you're a member of this church or not, but it shows that, if you're looking for scripture, that you're a believer. I would pursue marital counseling in the context of your church.
It's good, man.
Reach out to your pastor.
Good call.
A lot of things is, a lot of times, John said it, communication is still key. Like, sometimes the issue is that we don't know how to talk to each other. So I would say, I would encourage you to seek out marital counseling too.
It's good, man.
That's good.
Good point, dude, for real. All right, guys. I just checked the anonymous questions. Looks like we do not have any more. So we'll probably end the show there. Thank you guys so much for asking the questions you asked. Such a good conversation tonight. Zach, you did a great job, dude. Thank you so much for coming on. Block A, thank you so much for filling in, man. You're the man. Shout out to Fun Guy Austin. He keeps it fresh for us and hot every single week. The dude just keeps trying to slowly kill us. Shout out to Fun Turn Clint in the back. Thank you so much for being the production guy, man. You're killing it. Appreciate you, dude. Other than that, folks, again, I'll reiterate one more time. If you guys have any questions about God, life, the Bible, anything in between, go to www.theremnant.life/real-talk. Shoot your question there. It'll be completely anonymous. We'll answer it either here live on Real Talk Live, or we may even answer it on our podcast, Real Talk Web Series. So make sure you check out both. Other than that, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And not Fun Turn. We got production guy or something.
Hey, a couple of things too. One, come check us out. Sundays.
Good call,
Sunday
man.
service, 11 a.m. All right, it's not too early. So you can invite your friends that go out and party Saturday nights, and they can come hang out anyways. It's not even that early, 11 a.m. And plus, afterwards, what do we got? Free meal.
Free meal. It's
Free
true.
food. You get to show
I'm in.
up. Yeah, see?
I'm in.
And we also know James Bennett is definitely in.
That's right. So 11 a.m. on Sundays. Come check us out. We're in Columbia City, Indiana. The other thing I want to remind you guys of is, remember, at the end of the day, no matter what you've done, what you're going to do, or how terrible of a life you think you are, God still loves you. He loves you so much that He came down and died for you.
Amen.
And all you have to do is accept that, and you can be saved. So I don't know if there's somebody out there that needs to hear that, but continue to share this, guys. This ministry has blessed a lot of people, and just continue to do that. Just remember, He loves you, and He does have what's best for you in mind.
Amen, dude. Thank you so much for ending. That is such a good note to end on. Man, that was hard to say. Other than that, guys, you guys are awesome. It's been Real Talk Live. It's been fun chilling with you guys and talking with you and interacting with you. You guys have a fantastic rest of your night, and God bless you.
Bless you. Love you guys.